What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the walkthrough. Going to be aiming to reach Genichiro this episode, but first there's a couple things we have to do. Namely, being that I currently have, looking at key items here, 1 prayer bead available, and there are 3 more out there I can grab to get a 4th prayer necklace before Genichiro. So to that extent, we're going to do a quick speed run here. Well, I shouldn't say speed run, but this is actually a very efficient farming route for this point in the game. And since it's on our way to Centipede Bro, it makes sense to pop some items for the farm. So, I'm going to be popping, what do I want here? Ah, screw it, let's just pop them all. So we'll pop that one. Well, not all, but yeah, we'll pop this one, get some items. And let's go ahead and pop this one to get some spirit. Now, gotta go fast. Run straight out, ignore those guys chasing you. Shank 1, suck up the goods. Shank 2, suck up the goods. Him. I believe we picked it up earlier. No, we did not, so we're going to grab this Ungo sugar. Kill him. Pick up his goods. Little big guy. Him. Good bomb. Really nice bomb. Not good enough though. Back up his goods. That. Another big boy over here. Him. Grab the Ungos. Balloon where the wolves are, and then we move down to Claw Boys. Okay, so jump up here. Up, down. And pop a quick antidote just to get rid of that poison. Grab that balloon, and then let's see. Yeah, then we go to Claw Boys. Alright, so drop on down. On up. Now this is actually a boss area, so we're gonna be killing the Claw Boys and then resetting to fight the boss. Ooh. You can see how he goes. Swing, 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 swing. Pretty irritating. Oh, hey, little guy. Alright, so that's my my farming route for at this point in the game. I would consider this to be like the early midpoint, I suppose you could say. So anyway, after they are knocked out, and this guy Diagros, it's time to go. Now, this is why we wanted to have the Loaded Umbrella upgraded, and you're going to see why in just a second here. First, we're going to get our Death Blow, as per tradition. Serious, this is in the International Guide to Being a Shinobi. I knew I missed one of you little shits. Come here. Alright, watch this. Literally just chill here. Oh, jump to sweep when he does that, but otherwise. That easy. This is why I suggest getting the umbrella, because otherwise you gotta go deflect, 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 and you can do it. You can do it, but having the umbrella just makes it that much easier. And there we go. Sugar. God, hang on one second. Every time I look at this place, I'm like, there's something up there. And there's nothing up there, but I still always believe there's something up there. Anyway, from here, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go last communicated. And we're gonna go give Big Boy the pinwheel. And we got 2 more bosses that we're gonna knock out real quick here. And that will give us 4 prayer beads before we tackle Genichiro. Travel back to the very first idol of Senpo Temple. Once again, if you give him the white pinwheel, all you're going to get is a persimmon. Red and white. So that's a red and white flower. I wanted the pure white. But hey, you're trying to help. You're a good person. A pure white file. I guess it flew away. Anyway, instead of giving that to him, suggest a travel destination and tell him about Anayama. There. Let's hop back. And now we're going to head back over to Ashina Reservoir and take out 2 bosses over there. Okay, kill these guys just so they don't get in the way. By this point, you should just be, you know, absolutely murdering stuff like that. Well, that's irritating, but it doesn't really matter that much. No one listened to him. Oh man, that sucks. Imagine having one job and no one listens to you. So I'm not sure if we can initially just plunge this guy, because he does have some dialogue. Let's see, if it'll let me lock on, I can probably plunge. Yeah. So if you do want his dialogue, you can go down. Oh, you know what? Just to show it. So come here. They said I'd find a cowardly wolf here. No sign of him, though. Broken and incompetent shinobi living in disgrace. I hope to see such a man. Seems I'm out of luck. He can't die. I'm sure I'll run into him. And he goes, "Oh, you're the shinobi I was looking for." Calls you a bastard if you attack him first. Anyway, point is, we're just going to back out real fast, just to reset him. Now, this guy is actually, he has a near identical moveset to the guy that we snagged the Raven Mist from. Later in the game, they become fairly common, so I would suggest, you know, learning how to beat these things. One thing that might help you initially with this fight is he can do quite a bit of posture damage, so if you're worried, go ahead and pop a Goken Sugar. And then jump. And plunge. So the main thing with this guy is just staying aggressive and looking to deflect all of his kicks. He has 2 perilous attacks he can do. First one you can Makiri counter. The second one is a sweep, but what's interesting is, as you can see there, I just pressed the dodge button, same as I would for a Makiri counter, and just the direction that his sweep goes, you will always dodge it if you just press dodge like you were going to do a Makiri. So the basic gist is just stay aggressive on him. Anytime he does perilous, just hit your button, and either you're going to get Makiri or you're going to dodge right past it. And you know, needless to say, it's an easy clap from there. So with him down, now it's time to go visit Spear Bro. I also want to point out, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it already, but you should have Shinobi Eyes by now. Shinobi Eyes is going to help a lot in both of these fights. One, because he has that thrust kick that you just saw, and 2, because when we're going up against Spear Bro up top, Spear Bro is, obviously he's Spear Bro, so he's all about thrusts. Now, you don't need to kill everything on the way to Spearbro. If you're worried about stuff interfering, you can. Just to better show it, you'd have to kill this guy. You have to kill this one. Those are the only two ones that you really, like, have to kill because they're, you know, literally on the way to the boss. My oil on. Oh, it's not 100% needed here. Oil and flamethrower will do a fair amount of work to this guy, so just oil him on up. I think it's worth noting as well, you don't need to have oil every time you're trying to use the flamethrower, especially once you start upgrading it. Oil in general is going to be useful when you're fighting against stuff that may not work necessarily. Get this real fast. You said to me once, do what must be done. I've yet to discover what that is. I don't understand. Why was I granted this power? Anyway, so go on up. Give him a good old stabbing. Hit him with the oil. Now we're going to wait a little bit. So you can see Big Boy up there is pathing. That did not work out. Oh, that did not work out. There we go. Now that he's on fire, we'll whack away a little bit. He can also do a follow-up attack after his spear thrust. Just be aware of that. It's not as easy as just, you know, hitting him once. Yeah, you know what? Disregard that flamethrower statement. I think it's going to be a lot easier to just Akiri counter his ass. So with those two dead, head back to Dilapidated Temple real fast. Up next, we're going to be fighting Genichiro, and the reason we're doing all of this first is to be basically as upgraded as possible. Now, there are a couple other things you could do. You could try going through Sunken Valley. You could go to Ashina Depths to a certain extent. I don't recommend doing those things this early. Those are the zones that are better for later. But having 4 prayer necklaces will put you in a very comfortable spot for this upcoming encounter. So another thing to point out here, your money and your skill points. At this point, I'd recommend buying anything that you feel you need, you know, just to spend some money. If you don't have anything you feel you need, convert that money into bags. You know, I think we've been going along pretty smoothly until now, but I will say that this is the first fight where I feel it's like a hard skill check to the player. I mean, Lady Butterfly to an extent can be seen as difficult, but this fight is even more so than that. This is your first real get good. So anyway, we're gonna head over to Ashina Dojo. This is a 3-phase fight. The main thing I would suggest doing here is just staying as aggressive as you possibly can. If you're worried, Mist Raven can certainly help. There. Right out this window. Rope up. Here we go.
Oji-samaのご様子はどうだ?
一心様は命を保っておられるのが不思議なほどです。
そうか。ミコよ、もう一度言う。不死のちぎりを俺と結べ。
できませぬ、源一郎殿。たとえひとたび敗れるとも、命を賭し 主を必ず取り戻す。それが我が忍びなれば。
お迎えに参上いたしました。今しばらくお待ちくだされ。なるほどな。貴様を殺しきらぬ限り、留飲を我が手にはできぬよ。
About to whoop your ass. So the main thing for this fight is 100% staying aggressive. If you give him any room, he's going to back up, he's going to use his bow, which is going to hurt quite a bit. Anytime he does that, he's going to always follow it up. Just to clarify there, that jump attack, every time he does that jump attack, he'll follow it up with a perilous. Either a perilous sweep, which you want to jump and double pop, or a perilous thrust, which you're going to want to Makiri. As long as you avoid those two attacks, and you don't back up enough to really give him a chance to drill you with the bow, you'll be fine. Phase 2 of this fight, well, I said 3 phases. Basically, it's just 2 phases. He has 2 lives the first phase. Phase 2 is the same shit. Well, actually, we'll talk about Phase 2 when we get there. Oh my god, I am whiffing. Umbrella can obviously help with these combos. You can see how the big thing here is just staying aggressive. Same as Lady Butterfly. Just stay on him and just keep that posture building up. Don't let up. Second he gets that heal, I find that he's a lot more likely to do his sweep attack after his large drop as well, after you take out the first life or whatever. I don't know if it's guaranteed, but in the first phase he does the thrust a lot, or in the first life he does the thrust. In the second life he tends to do the sweep. It's not 100%, but, you know, it can change. On to phase 2.
見事だ、巫女の忍びよ。惜しいな。主を変えるつもりはないか。ざれ言。ざれ言だと。このアシナを守るためならば。 力であれ、従えてみせる。友への神なり見せてやろう。
Edgelord form activate. So, quickly to talk about Phase 2. This is basically going to be the same shit that just happened, except lightning is added into the picture. The one new major move he has is he has a big old leaping thrust at you. Even though it comes from the air, once again, you can use Makiri to counter that move. He has a lightning arrow he'll shoot. I would recommend dodging that. And then he does a big lightning AoE where he'll basically jump up in the air and chant his blade with lightning and swing it at you. When you see that happening, jump into the air, get hit by the lightning, and then use R1 to send it back at him, and it'll stun him in place. So aside from that, this is pretty straightforward. I actually think this phase is a little bit easier, because since he stripped off all of his armor, he's actually a little bit faster to build posture damage up on. So anyway, let's jump into it. Do Makiri the thrust. There's the lightning arrow. The thrust. Want to do at least one lightning counter to him. Oops. No. Oh, good hit. So he ended up getting me with shock. Little bit unfortunate there. Oh my god, and then he got me while I was stuck by shock. See, and this is why I said it's best to just stay aggressive. You give this guy an inch and he'll take a mile, man. Genichiro. So we never actually get to find this Tomoe figure, but I'm really hoping it's DLC for the game. And we now have our first ninjutsu as well. Jutsu techniques are powerful abilities that can only be performed after a backstab death blow. They call spirit emblems, and they do super dope stuff.
Genichiro 殿、もしや落ち水を。
アシナはこの国は俺のすべてだ。そのためなら俺は人間をやめよう。死人帰りか。
Alright, let's go ahead and rest. Because I am terrible about doing this, we're going to go ahead and spend this memory now. Go ahead and talk to Emma. Basically says she's a doctor of Ishin. Ishin doesn't want the dragon's heritage, so she ordered you to help Kuro escape and all that stuff. Blah blah blah. Let's head downstairs. Talk to Kuro. Rest at another idol. And now that we finally have this area unlocked, it's worth pointing out that the shinobi door right here will actually lead directly back to the dilapidated temple. Talk to Kuro. Well, to come here, let us go, we need to leave. No, we need to do something, we need to get rid of this, I wish to save you, and I'm sure that I could have done the same thing, blah blah blah. When people become undying, bad things happen, immortal oath, rejuvenating waters, the dragon rot, people get corrupted, we need to sever the chains of stagnation. So it doesn't matter what you do here, you can obey the Iron Code or you can choose to help them. If you choose help, it says I cannot break the Iron Code, so just obey it. I cannot. I need to protect you. That was the duty. How many times have you died to come back? 2 or 3 times? Sounds about accurate for me, or perhaps a large number. Maybe more accurate for you. Actually, I don't think I've permanently died once yet. As it was for the purpose of defending my lord, the number does not matter. I do not wish to bind you to an eternity of undeath. You know, join me in my quest. We're going to sever the ties of immortality. You agree. Talk to him some more. I'm going to run through a bunch of dialogue. I know a good place to start. Take a look at this. Rite of Immortal Sevenants, beyond the Fountainhead Palace, locates the sanctuary and imbibe the tears of the holy dragon of the divine realm. We know about this. We need to get to the sacred realm and get dragon tears. So that incense burner will help take us there. Incense burner, examine it. We're told that there was a different divine heir living here, Lord Takeru. Lord Takeru went to the divine realm, and now we gotta go hunt down the various items to do this. As for the beginning, he's going to search some books, look into finding a way into the divine realm. As for severing immortality, he wants us to talk to Ishin. If anyone knows the answer, it's him. It says, Wolf, come with me, and he walks at the slowest pace I have ever seen anyone walk ever. Continue the dialogue. Lord Ishin is not within the castle. He's recuperating in one of the watchtowers. The path is closed. His health is a little bad. How do I get in? The path is patrolled by Nightjar. Won't be a problem for you. Look for the smoke signals and you'll find him. Literally just right over here. Sake! Soul guy's pretty cool. Genichiro was bewitched by the rejuvenating waters. Thanks for putting a stop to that for me. You have my thanks. I merely followed the code. You're the son of Owl. I remember you. You were an orphan. He took you in. Blah, blah, blah. As you'll notice, he is the Tengu of Ashina. So anyway, talk about Immortal Severance with him. He talks about the Mortal Blade, says you could use a weapon like that. It can kill people who normally can't die. It can kill the infested, i.e. the centipedes back at Senpo Temple. You'd have to get it, blah, blah, blah. Ask where it can be found. He's going to talk about it being at Senpo Temple. They say it cannot be drawn because it takes your life. Doesn't really matter because we're immortal. And then you have the option to give him drinks. Basically says in the battle for immortality, if you hesitate, you lose. One thing that is worth mentioning here, as I mentioned, you can give people drinks to get bonus dialogue. That applies to him, it applies to Emma, and it applies him, Emma, and then the sculptor. So, whichever one you're more interested in hearing fun dialogue tidbits from, that's the one you should talk to. Anyway, coming back over here, we have a note. He just says, I'm in the library, meet me over there. Over to the library we go, get the Gun Fort Shrine Key. Now we can go through the Sunken Valley. Talk to him, he says, I looked into it, the Mortal Blade is the key to severing immortality. I also looked up some other stuff. At this point, show him the Sakura droplet that we got earlier. Run through this dialogue, give him the Sakura droplet. Basically, a Sakura droplet was what was left behind from Lord Takeru. He's going to give it to you. Now you have an additional res. Ask about the flower. Get a note here. This said that relatives of Tomoe once gathered the fountainhead fragrance and arrived at the palace. You may find a key where the waters of rejuvenation converge in a deep pool. A white and deeply fragrant flower. Basically all the way at the bottom of the sunken valley. As for the next one, blah, 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 blah. Ask about the stone. Fragrant stone in a village beneath Ashina. That's Ashina Depths. That's going to be one of the last areas that we end up going to. We haven't been there. If you have a different piece of dialogue with them. Door marked now enter the person. Shinobi door, blah, blah, blah. Talking about going back to the fort. Go over to Emma. Exhaust her dialogue. She's just going to talk about Dojin, rejuvenating sediment, deciding to sever the ties of immortality. As I mentioned, you want to, anytime you really get a chance, you want to talk to her. Master Wolf, you browse the list for, so we know that we're through the dialogue with her. And all that finally wraps things up. So, now that we have the Gun Fort key, we have another boss we're going to be going to take out that's going to get us a memory. And then we're going to be working our way towards the Sunken Valley. So we're going to wrap things up for here. This next boss fight can take a little bit of time depending on how lucky you are, so it's better to just close on out. Pretty dialogue intensive episode as well. Even, see, and this is why I skip dialogue. I know a lot of you guys like, please don't skip dialogue, but honestly, if I let them talk through all of that, this episode would have literally been Genichiro fight and just dialogue. You would have had 20 minutes of just dialogue. And, you know, I get that. It's cool. We all want to listen to dialogue. But in my opinion, that's what playing through the game yourself is for. You know, that's what the Let's Play is for. I'm here to... I want to bring you guys the info, I want to get it done, and I want to keep it nice and short and sweet and to the point. So to that extent, I think it's a little bit easier to just give you the breakdown and skip a lot of the dialogue. So anyway, wrapping on up. Catch you guys soon enough with another boss fight, though.